Hello, hello. Looks like my sound is working. Now my video is working. Hey there. How is everybody tonight? It is Friday Night Crime. How are you all doing? Sharon Creates is here. Mimi Loves to Crochet is here. Leanie, hello to you. And Joan is here. Hello, Joan. Who else did I see coming in? Sharon, was that Sharon? Alley Cat. Hey, Kimberly, how are you tonight? Welcome in. Yeah, the splashdown is this evening. The Artemis splashdown. Somewhere off the coast of California, I believe. Good evening to you, Annie. How are you tonight? Good to see you too. Did I miss anybody coming in? I hope I did not. How are y'all? We are sitting at 70 something degrees. It's been an absolute beautiful last few days. I am very much enjoying these days. Uh, Voice communication, well, they're in our atmosphere then. Voice communication has been reestablished, means that they are now in our atmosphere. That's what I know it to mean. Today is also April the 10th of 2026. And in this area, or at least in the Wichita Falls, Texas area, it is known as Terrible Tuesday. So 1979, it was a Tuesday, and it was Terrible Tuesday. That was the year 1979 of a epic tornado that went through the Wichita Falls area. Well, you know, Annie, I had a very hard time going back to rewatch it because I had watched it and I had taken some notes, but I hadn't finished my notes. So we're going to do things just a little bit different tonight, but it's okay. Yeah, it said it was on Paramount, but for some reason I could not pull it back up today. For whatever reason, it was not letting me find it. Yeah, the walking, yeah. We had a really, really good walk today. Duke got pretty dirty and pretty stinky, so he did not get to come in for 3 o'clock, but he enjoyed himself rolling in dead things or something that was close to that smell wise, and then going through the spring and getting chocolified, all that silt all over him. So he looks like a chocolate dog. He had a great time. And then he was laying out here after we got back. I'll show you a picture. Oh my gosh. He was airing it out, you know. Absolutely happy. That is one happy dog. Not a care in the world. He always looks like he fell off a building. There's the Sharon I thought I saw earlier. Now we have two Sharons. Hello, hello. Hello, Nifty. Good to see you. I hope it's something good, Joyce. You having a steak tonight? Good to see you all. I'm so thankful you came in to join me tonight. I do have my pillow here, and I thought I was finished with the first side of the cover. I'll show you where I'm at. Was he? It always looks like they fell off a, like my earrings, like the crime scene tape. Oh, or they're flying. Like that's how they would fly through the air, something like that. Oh, too funny. So let me add the camera. There we go. Now we do this. And now we do this. And now let me show y'all what it looks like. Steak and chicken on the carnivore, yes. Here is where we're at. And I am into the second ball of it. But I'm not quite, I don't quite feel like it is wide enough for this pillow though. Because see, when I put my pillow here, look at that. It is not, I'm not there yet. Right here, I need a few more rows. That's funny, Annie. But it is definitely wide enough. I have a little bit to either side. So I know that it will, I think I will be able to do less stitches when I do the back. I did find some more of the, I didn't remember how many I had. I only thought I had 2 of these, and it turns out I have 4 of them. So I'm going to finish this, and then I'll cast it off. And I think I will wait then, and I will get something for the back. And they don't have this. This was a discontinued color, which is probably why I got it for $1.99 when Cheryl and I bought these. Because I have not been able to find this color anywhere. Carnival balloons. Also, I did get my package today from Crystal. This is the monthly. And I got my Mary Maxim. And it does not have the new colors yet. I ripped it open to see, but there is a new premier yarn called Flora. But no new Bag O' Day yarn. Not yet. That's okay. She did say she thought it would be the May catalog. So that's all right. Okay. Now, this is just a little bit cumbersome for me to do on camera. I'm going to take it over and put it away and get something else to work on, okay? Hello, sweet Cindy. How are you? And how is my buddy doing? How is Levi? And your sweet daughter, I hope you are all doing good. The Artemis has touched down. We have a perfect landing. Whoop, whoop. This is the first time they've done it in a number of years. So I know they were really excited about it. All right, I'm going to put this over here. So Okay. I have just started the Petite Knit Oslo hat. This is the pattern that came with my Junction Fiber Arts Junction Fiber Mill yarn. Oh, I don't think I have the ball band. What I do with that? Oh yeah, I do. I do know what I do with it. Okay. So let me show you what this looks like. This is the Sugar on Snow colorway from Junction Fiber Mill. 200 yards, heavy DK weight, American raised fine merino, targhee, and Corriedale. I have started a new, if you have not seen it yet, I have started a new series called What the Fiber. And I spoke on this yarn and a little bit about the fibers. I'm excited for that. I have filmed part of next week's already. Here is what it looks like caked up. And I'm just starting with it. So I don't really have a whole lot to tell you about this yarn yet. So just getting started. This is on 3mm needles, y'all. Teeny tiny. Oh, that's good to hear. That is good to hear. I imagine you are starting to get some pretty weather in your area now too, Cindy. I do have my air conditioner on in the other part of the room because I know that it has been playing havoc with my videos and such over here. I've had a few people say something about my volume, that it's difficult to hear me. So I'm wondering, are you guys hearing me okay? Is anyone having difficulty with this microphone while we are live? I would like to know how it sounds to you all. I do have a microphone to put on myself for my phone when I film with my phone, and I will be using that in another video. Now, part of it I've already filmed, but on the next part of it, I will definitely be using it. Everyone says they're hearing me so far. Okay. Okay, well, that's good. I felt like this microphone was doing okay. Hello, Connie. Good to see you. Thank you for being here. Oh, thank you. Well, I know it was a little bit in my last video, the Michael's haul. It was a little loud in the first part of the video, but I did turn it off in the last part. I promise I'll be getting around to see you again, Connie. I've just been busy. All right, so in order to tell you the story about Dangerous Games, I am going to be reading it to you. But first, I wanted us to talk about LISK, because this week, yesterday or the day before, might have been the day before. Hello, Patty. Oh, that's awesome, Annie. Connie made your granddaughter a purse. Aw. Hey, Debbie. Hello, Patty. So LISK is Long Island serial killer. And you guys and I have been following this case for how many years now? 2 or 3 anyway. And we all knew that he was responsible for those bodies that were found on Gilgo Beach and on that parkway. Is it good? All right, good. We'll do it that way. I have no problem doing it this way. I have a new setup here. I don't know if y'all saw it. Let me go back. I'm going to go back for a moment to this one. And I have a new setup here. See? I got a new lamp that I'm trying out. And I was able to put my other camera down through the center of it and clip it right there. And I have a lot more leeway and stability for holding on to the camera, and that way it doesn't shake either. I'm hoping. So I think it's a little bit more stable. So I'm very happy with this. Very, very happy with it. Hello, Melissa. Welcome in. Okay. Update on I will tell you what this is about here in just a moment too, guys. Don't let me forget. Chelsea's trying to return some items that I purchased while I was in Louisiana. Good to see you, Melissa. Yeah, the chat, I know. The chat is just, and I would do it here, but for some reason, it doesn't look right. When I do the chat here, yeah, see that covers an awful lot. I don't know. If I can put it in a different spot. I'm trying to put it in a different spot. It won't let me move it. It does. It looks nice. Yes, it looks nice, but look how much it's covering up. And I don't see, oh gosh. Yeah, okay. I see, I put it on the top and I put it on the bottom and it doesn't change anything. Oh, well, that's better. How do I remove it? There we go. All right. Well, we played for a little while anyway. Oh, thank you. I got the bright pink today and a butterfly. Yes, I think it's much nicer to be able to do this, but I can't knit and do this at the same time. Looking to see if I missed anything in the chat. Okay, now I'm getting back to the bottom. Okay, I was just trying to work my way back down to the bottom of the chat. Yeah, I got a butterfly on there. Now let me just say that I went to a different place to get my nails done this time. I really loved those first ones when I first had them put on two times ago, and I really liked the girl that did them, but they were very expensive, and I was not able to get her when I went back last time. And the guy that did them last time was very nice and they looked good. You guys saw them. But if you saw them up close, they were very clunky. They weren't done properly and they started to lift. I went to a different place this time and I got them done by a girl named Anne. That's her American name. You know, they all have American names. She was very sweet. She was a beautiful lady. And she had such great attention to detail. I can't even tell y'all how it just really made my heart happy because being a cosmetologist myself, I know all of the things that you're supposed to do, and she did them. Sanitation, all of it. She was right on top of everything. She was real good about on the block, the four-sided buffing block. She cleared the corners so that they wouldn't be too sharp when she was working. Everything was just, she just did wonderful. So I'm going to be going back there. And then when she got done, they just feel so light. They don't feel clunky at all. And they're not thick. She just did a much better job. So, and they were cheaper. So I will go back there next time and I'm going to have to do a pedicure too. It will be time for, because Chelsea and I got pedicures when I was down there. I do have my coffee still in my Texas cup. Texas chip. Hello, little Rosie Rindler. How are you? How is California? You've got extra visitors in California today, I hear. That is my plan, Cindy. I will see if I can get that done, is to make an appointment with her. I do have her card this time, so we'll see. I know it's always hard to know what they're talking about, but I've just ignored it now. So tonight I have French roast with vanilla and I think that vanilla that I use is a powdered vanilla that I use a vanilla sugar when I put it in my coffee. And I think the brand's called Oregon. Orgun. Oregon. Believe that's the brand. So good. Wonderful powder. Good hot or cold. It mixes well either way. And then my half and half. So back to LISK, y'all. Rex Hewerman from Massapequa Park. Look at me. I've learned how to say that after all this time, huh? And he has now pled guilty to 8 counts of murder to 8 sex workers. the ones that are still outstanding, that are still not of the 11 bodies that they have found on Ocean Parkway, Peaches and her baby, they think that that was committed by the ex-husband and the baby daddy. They think the Asian male, they don't have enough DNA to actually get him to find out his identity yet, or enough evidence to tie him to Rex. And then there's, so that's 8, 9, 10, 11. What do you mean, Mimi? You know where there are many more. I believe there are more. I most definitely do believe there are more. So the lawsuit has been dropped. Yes. Asa and the family were being sued, but that has now been dropped. That was a suit that was brought on by the family, the victims' families lawyer, not, how do I say this? It the suit has now been dropped now that he has pled guilty. You've been crocheting? Oh, you haven't been because you're out of yarn. Exactly. Now that they have his full profile, and now that they're doing so many more things with that DNA, he is now in CODIS. Just like the other day, I told y'all they have now entered Bundy into CODIS. So, there's going to be more connections that will come up with Bundy also. And now that they connected him to uh, Amy, I've forgotten her name. So it's very exciting. They are expanding the CODIS to these serial killers who are they they have not been there before. The DNA was not advanced enough to put them in. So now that the DNA has advanced to where it's at, to the late 20s. Oh, his late 20s. That makes sense. That definitely makes sense because we know that a lot of them, that's when they are active. See, he he may have, at this point, they say that he was getting close to aging out. And the thing is, when they caught him and took him into custody, he had just gone and purchased another phone, another, what do you call them? Words. Words, words, words. They had the video of him in the store purchasing one of the phones and was contacting more girls. He was planning more. He wasn't done yet, but he would have aged out soon. Is that's what the profilers all say. The profilers, yeah, track phone. Yeah. Hey, Peregrine Falcon, thank you so much for your comment the other day. I really enjoyed seeing you come up in my comments. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you. Yes, track phone. Yeah. Burners. Yes. That's it. The burner phones. Yes. That's it. So that is the question right now, isn't it? Did the wife know? So here's the thing, the wives in this chat, I would like to know how you would feel. How would you feel if your husband or your partner, your any partner had a room in your house that you lived in that house with them and you weren't allowed to go in it? How would you feel about that? And what would you think was going on? Now, back in the 80s, we would say, oh, probably in there was some porn, you know? Um, would we have thought serial killing? I would not immediately think that. Uh huh. There's no room in my house that I can't go in. Uh huh. That's the way I see it too, Annie. I would say most wives would say, um, no. We have a very open relationship, and that would definitely not happen here. I would need to know what it is you're doing because you know everything I'm doing. I tell you everything I'm doing. I'd need to get in there. When you weren't home, I'd need to be get in there. Whoever I needed to hire, we'd get in. We'd find out. We'd absolutely find out. Now there is that. There certainly is that, Cindy. There certainly has to be a certain degree of what their life was like. Okay. So, but did she really know that that's what he was doing? Right? I they had a I did want to talk about this because they had a very odd relationship though. Okay? We've not heard anything about abusive. We are hearing psychopath, we are hearing secretive, all of those things for sure. But we've not heard anything about abuse with the children or the wife. And I'm not getting that vibe from anything they said on their $1 million documentary because I watched it. Okay. Well, and it's possible. I'm not saying it's not possible. Uh huh. It's just the Christmas presents. Yeah, just the Christmas presents. Yes. Oh, and see, that's the thing. Mr. Fiber and I hate to disappoint each other. It goes all over us just to disappoint each other, you know? And we rarely argue. We rarely even, you know, it just doesn't happen. I feel that it was more control. I feel it was more control, that it was more just don't ask. That there was a persona about him that led the family to, I don't know if you would call it walk on eggshells around him, but more of a, you just don't ask. He does his thing, we do our thing, we just don't ask. That's where I see it. Now, again, we don't know. Nobody knows. We didn't live with them. We don't know. But if you go back to BTK and Carrie Rawson again, like I told you last week, that if you hadn't seen the Peacock documentary that Asa and the daughter did with Carrie Rawson. Carrie, you know, she didn't know what was going on. That came as a huge shock for her, you know. Um, I kind of think, and when it comes to that documentary, oh, I got the fans making that. I'm gonna have to find another place to put my fan. It's making it shake. I feel like, well, I lost my train of thought now. That didn't take long. Women have instincts. Women most definitely have instincts. Possibly. I feel like she had a little bit to that, Mimi. I think that she had a little bit of like she owed him because he took care of her. Hello, Tank. Well, I'm glad you're here now. Yeah, it happens. I've given up on that. I've given up on the notifications going out. But I'm glad you're here. You haven't missed a whole lot. Absolutely. Me too, Cindy. I'm so happy for you. Absolutely. And he controlled her too. There had to have been control because we heard about their swinging and things. Maybe she didn't always want to do that kind of thing either. And then now he knows things about her. They did things together that he knows about her as well. And there are things that she's ashamed of having done in her life and with him. Um, but yet she owes him because she was allowed to do an awful lot of things, go on these vacations, which during all of these vacations, he killed people. He killed girls during those things. Cindy, don't do that to yourself. I understand, Annie, but I don't think they knew that it was killing. I just don't think they knew that. Or maybe that's me not wanting to think it. Oh, I don't know. I don't know what her status was. I don't think so. He would have most definitely paid that by now. Hey, LJ, good to see you. Glad you're here. Yeah, sometimes you just don't have the energy, right? Yeah, I'm going to try to always keep my Friday nights. You guys know that I love my Friday nights with you, and I'm going to try to keep those. The other ones, I can't really give you days and times as far as when I will be live. I just don't know. I just don't know. But I am going to be doing more videos like I have been doing. So there will be content, even if there aren't lives, there will most definitely be content. So the victims, it's the Gilgo Fort. It is um, Maureen Brainerd Barnes, Melissa Bartholomew. I tried to remember them all. Dag burn it. Karen Vargas, who was the Fire Island Jane Doe. I'm looking for my notebook. Where did I put my notebook? I had it out this afternoon. I'm wondering if this notebook is the one that I have my notes in. Oh, thank you, LJ. Yeah, I think, and I think that if that even came up in your mind, would you even give into it? I just don't know. All right. Looking to see if this is the one that has the notes in it. Got Murdaugh. I don't think it's in this one. Sarah Boone, North Pole serial killer. Coach to Kill. That was an Indiana one. Israel Keys. Hannah Petty. No, it's not in here. Okay. Well, anyway. So I have so many notebooks with all of our stuff in it. Rating yarn syndrome. I know. Oh, Russ. Russ will get you. Walmart Red Heart. Bitty Stripes. And stuff you didn't get from Yarns. I do have Yarn Inspirations to show y'all. I will be doing that on a different video or different. Yes, Megan Waterman. Megan Waterman. Melissa Bartholomew. Maureen Brainerd Barnes. I can't remember my own name, but I'm remembering these. Love you, Tank. Thank you, darling. High sleep score. God, that was this morning. That's like a world away. I've already hit my move goal. I've already hit my exercise goal. I haven't hit my stand goal, but I'm at 6,874 steps. Doing good. Doing good. Karen Vergata is, yes. And then we know the older ones. Oh, they're having a sale on it? How much are the skeins? Do you know how much the skeins are, LJ? Because I've been meaning to hit her up and see what she's got. She's made some comments this week, so I think she's okay. She might be busy. Maybe she's visiting her husband tonight this week. But I have seen comments. She's okay. Oh, the veterans are going to take your blankets. That's good. Oh, that's good. I am going to be making some blankets. That was the other four. The number 4 was Amberlynn Costello. Thank you, Sharon. Whoop, whoop. You've had a big day too. You've been running around doing stuff too. Good job. Oh. I wonder if it's the purple I'm thinking of. There's a absolutely gorgeous Malabrigo purple. Don't remember the name of that one, but it is so pretty. I may have it over there. I don't know. I would really have to dig. So they are 13 something each and 5 for 64. And so you can get a 5-pack for 64. Ooh, what am I looking for? I turned around to look for something over there. Haven't got a flippin' clue what I was going to look for. Okay, now I know what it was. I'm going to tell you the story from New Hampshire. New Hampshire is what we picked last time, okay? So I wanted to get this down and have it here so I can pull one for after this. Hey, Shad. Hey, Shad's here. Welcome in, welcome in. Now, did I put New Hampshire? I did. I put New Hampshire over here out so that I didn't put it back in. So let me lay it out there. That's what I was turning around to get. Oh, I haven't ever done that. I don't know how that works, Cindy. I really don't know how that works. So, Dangerous Games, Dover, New Hampshire. And I know some of you have forgotten all of this because it's been at least 3 weeks since we talked about it. So here's what I'm going to do since I was unable to find the episode again. It is on CBS News. The death of Lizzie Marriott. And here is where I tell you there may be triggers, and I will understand if you are unable to stay. So we have essay, we have violence, we have all of those things here, okay? So here's your chance if you need to. Sandra Castillo was an earlier one, yes. And the resentencing will be on June 17th. Thank you guys for helping me to finish that. No, not that one. No, definitely not that. And don't tell me he was a meanie. I don't want to hear it. Hey, Maribel. Good to see you, and good to see you, my friend Chad. Okay. Where and when what? What? Huh? What? Hewerman, June 17th for resentencing. LISK. Jessica Taylor and Valerie Mack are the last 2. Yes. So that's the 8. Yes. Thank you, Sharon. Yes. Thank you for looking it up. I should have done it. I just didn't. All right. I think what I need to do, let me change my settings real quick, okay? What is it called? So that it doesn't shut down. What setting is that again? Because I'm going to be reading it. Display, auto lock. Never. Well, I got to remember to turn that back off. Okay. Let me see. I think I can get it closer. My little holder. Yes, please hit the thumb. Oh, good, Sharon. So you can stick with this for a little longer. All right. Portsmouth, New Hampshire. The cool blue of the New Hampshire seawater is as deep as Lizzie Marriott's love for the ocean. But that same ocean would play a role in the tragedy that ended Lizzie's life. Lizzie was a vivacious, I may read this wrong because I'm having trouble with words today. Lizzie was vivacious. She loved her friends. She loved the little critters around her. Lizzie's mother, Melissa Meredith, said. She told 48 Hours correspondent Troy Roberts, you know, you'd see her and she'd have a tortoise in her hand or a little turtle and, be putting it back on the brook side of our road. She and I used to do just the silliest things together, just no rhyme or reason, said her father, Bob Marriott. Here's a picture of them. In October of 2012, Lizzie Marriott was 19. She had just entered the University of New Hampshire as a sophomore. It has a wonderful marine biology program, Lizzie's uncle Tony Hanna said, and it's where she really wanted to go. And while attending UNH as a day student, Lizzie was living with her aunt and uncle. Good night, Shad. Okay, sounds good. Enjoy. I may not see all of the chat while I'm reading, y'all. One of my favorite things was when she would come back. She'd scream, I'm home. And it really made us feel comfortable that she really felt like our home was also her home, said Becky Hanna. Tuesday, October 9th, 2012, started out like any other day. On Tuesday, she said she was going to a friend's house. Be home no later than 12 or 12:30, Tony Hanna explained, and that's the last thing we heard from her. Wednesday morning, Lizzie had not come back. It kind of made me nervous, Tony said. I said, well, you know how teenage girls are. She probably stayed late, and can I crash at your house? Said Becky Hanna. But by Thursday, there was still no sign of Lizzie. So Thursday morning, there's no car, said Becky, and she says, oh my God, Lizzie's not here. And then it was like sheer panic. Now something's really wrong, said Tony Hanna. What do you do when your child is missing? Bob Marriott asked Roberts. I didn't have a checklist that told me what to do. Lizzie's parents live a couple hours drive away in Massachusetts. They immediately called the police to report her missing. We worked the phone for, 2 hours and finally just couldn't take it anymore. Jumped in the car and drove. It's like, let's call the FBI. Let's call the state police. I'm driving and she's calling the cell phone to call anyone we can think of. Lizzie's family realized they didn't know who she was seeing that Tuesday night. I said to Becky, and then I said, friends, what friends are we talking about? Who was she going to see? We didn't even know. But investigators had an early break. Friends told them who Lizzie was supposed to see that night. Kat McDonough. I know Lizzie and Kat had met. I didn't know if they were anything more than work acquaintances, said Nate McNeil, who worked at a local Target store with both Lizzie and McDonough. McNeil was one of Lizzie's new friends in New Hampshire. Lizzie was always happy and she always found the best in everyone, he said. She had such an aura about her. People wanted to talk to her. Isn't that always the way they are with these stories? They had an aura, they were vivacious, they were welcoming, they were easy to approach. When word got out that Lizzie was missing, he reached out to McDonough. At that point, McNeil explained, I actually texted Kat because I knew that they had plans Tuesday night. And I said, hey, did Lizzie come over to your house? No one seems to know where she is. And she texted back, no, I didn't see her. She never came over. Which is a big ass lie. Nate McNeil had known Kat McDonough for years. She was my sister's friend from kindergarten. Now, here are the two people who killed Lizzie. That is Kate McDonough and Seth Mazzaglia. Investigators, piecing together Lizzie's last known activities, started looking at McDonough. At the time, she was living with her boyfriend, Seth Mazzaglia. Reporter and editor Rod Doherty covered the story for the Foster's Daily Democrat. Kat McDonough was fairly well known in the community, and she seemed to be a normal teenager. Seth and McDonough met in the summer of 2011 through the local theater scene. When I met her, she was very young. She was 17, Richard DeMario said, and she was a sweet girl. DeMario offered McDonough a part in a play he was directing in the fall of 2011. Okay, so now we also know that she was a theater type. Okay, it brings a lot of context to it when you look at people from that perspective. Um, I feel like people who are in theater have a different. They just carry themselves a little bit differently. Hello, Vicky. And I was trying to remember. Hang on. Did I say when this happened? This story aired February 14th of 2015. October of 2012 is when she disappeared. Wasn't sure if I made that clear. DeMario said, I saw a young girl who was very interested in partaking in the production, who was reliable and helpful. He says she changed dramatically after starting to date Seth Mazzaglia. Of course she did. I think that it's just she's a good girl who got mixed up with a very bad situation. So here's somebody already that is trying to say nice things about one of the suspects. Okay, it's 8 o'clock, y'all, which means it's green toy. So let me go pass Serbs off to Mr. Fiber and get my medicines because I did not bring my medicines. I'll be right back. Y'all take a quick little break, okay? Oh, get my shoes. Serbs, you ready? Are you ready? Let's go see Dad. Come on. Where is he? Where's your great boy? Okay. Whew. Dad's doing the green toy. Kick off your shoes. Mm-hmm. Oh. Ooh, spinach dip sounds good. I didn't miss too much, did I? All right, let me take my meds real quick. I'm going to go off camera for this, y'all, okay? Just because I don't want to get in trouble with YouTube or anything. Okay, that's done. All right. You know, sometimes you just want a snack. You don't really want to eat. So I sure understand that. All right, here we go. Get back to the story. So, the bad situation was going to get worse. Kat McDonough moved in with 29, so she was 18. And she moved in with 29-year-old Seth Mazzaglia, cutting off all contact with her family. Our reporter is researching him, and he's coming across his name on these sex and bondage sites, said Doherty, that seem to be a big part of Seth Mazzaglia's life. The dark side, police learned, also involved McDonough. She posted dark pictures of herself online using screen names like Vampire Actress and Miss Scarlet. She had obviously developed a fetish that we learned about that had to do with ropes and bondage and submissiveness. McDonough and Mazzaglia were advertising on fetish websites, looking to bring a third person into their relationship. But they didn't find Lizzie Marriott on those websites. Hey, Becky. Hey, Kathy. Oop, thank you. Did it already. How are you, Kathy? Good to see you. So, all Lizzie was trying to do was make friends with people. 3 days after Lizzie's disappearance, investigators were convinced that McDonough and Mazzaglia knew something. Police brought them in for questioning. They were placed in separate rooms. The local police, the Attorney General's office, the state police were very active, very fast. McDonough told police the same thing she told Nate McDeal in that text. Lizzie never showed up. About 2 hours into the interview, McDonough stopped answering. Police said she was free to go, but she waited there for Mazzaglia. That's when things started blowing up. Seth Mazzaglia was telling a totally different story. He spoke to police for 11 hours, and what he told them was shocking. Lizzie Marriott was at the apartment the night she went missing. He said there was sex, something went wrong, and Lizzie died. Seth Seth's bombshell admission that Lizzie Marriott had died in the apartment he shared with Kat McDonough. So this brought questions of, was McDonough involved, and where was Lizzie? Hey, Laura, good to see you too. Says that after Lizzie died, he panicked and brought the body to Pierce Island, where the Piscataqua River meets the Atlantic Ocean. The search started immediately, but there was no trace of Lizzie. In the early hours of Saturday morning, Seth was arrested and charged with the murder of Lizzie Marriott. 48 hours later, he was arraigned. New Hampshire law enforcement broke the news to Lizzie's parents. I knew before I walked in it was bad, said Melissa Marriott. We went off into a separate room and were given the news that Lizzie was dead. Her father Bob said, after you hear those words, you're kind of numb. Hey, Ola Joe. Mazzaglia's interrogation is sealed, so we don't know all the details of what he told police. Most importantly, was Kat McDonough involved in Lizzie's death? She would remain free for now. A pair of gloves found by investigators. Kat McDonough says Seth Mazzaglia put on the gloves before strangling Liz Marriott. Here's the gloves. Police found clues in the dumpster behind Mazzaglia and McDonough's apartment building: men's underwear, a pair of black gloves, and Lizzie's sweatshirt. Law enforcement continued to search the Piscataqua River for weeks, but they never found Lizzie's body. And I don't believe it's ever been found. I believe they've done interviews with her parents. I don't think they ever found her. There was one person who was not surprised when Seth was arrested for Lizzie's murder. Her name is Catherine, and she dated Seth when she was in high school, and he was in college in upstate New York. It was inevitable that Seth was going to kill, Catherine told Troy Roberts, and Lizzie Marriott was the perfect victim for him. Troy Roberts asked Catherine, did you think this was maybe a sexual encounter that went awry and got too rough, or was this murder? No, murder. This was definitely murder. I wish that she hadn't been there, but if it wasn't Lizzie Marriott, it would have been somebody else, Catherine explained. He fantasized about murder a lot when I was with him. Catherine says she knows Mazzaglia's dark side. Initially, it was flowers and he was caring. And when did that change? He always had been into BDSM type thing. BDSM stands for bondage, dominance, and submissiveness. Well, sadomasochism. And unlike 50 Shades of Grey, the popular book series turned movie, Catherine says Mazzaglia became increasingly violent and abusive. We got some wild stuff tonight, Ola Joe. Thank you for coming in. Good to see you. So this ex-girlfriend said they'd be naked and fooling around and he would put his hand around her throat. And I told him to stop. And he started doing it harder. And it just completely freaked me out. So she also says that he gradually took control of her life in a slow descent into a lack of choices to the point where she couldn't leave. In 2002, that couple, as a couple, moved to New Hampshire, where Catherine said he was always trying to bring other women into their bed. It was something that was a constant. There was always needing to have more than just me in the relationship. Why didn't you leave? Where would I have gone? I was 600 miles away from home and afraid to leave because if I left, he would kill me. He would hunt me down and he would kill me. Catherine managed to move out and went into hiding. 10 years later, Seth stands accused of killing Liz Marriott, and his latest teenage lover is coming to his defense. 2 days after his arrest, Cat McDonough meets with his lawyers to try to clear his name. The good girl to him that she is, she's going to try to clear his name. She is videotaped reviewing her statement. She now admits that Lizzie did come over that night. She says that Lizzie's death was an accident. Seth was sitting and the two of us were kind of just goofing around, she said on the tape. The night started with the three of them watching a movie and playing cards. And that led to consensual group sex. It started going from silly and then getting more intense. She says that Lizzie agreed to be tied up and drew a diagram of a harness. She said, I tied a harness on myself before, but it was the first time I'd ever tied a harness on someone else. Yes, she tied the harness on Lizzie. Now, did he make her? This is the question. Did he make her, or did she do that or was she participating? It's a very fine line with her. McDonough gives Mazzaglia's defense team exact details of what she said happened. She tells them Lizzie had a seizure and suffocated and died as she was lying under her on the floor. Under her. Well, that sounds more like she did it. McDonough seems strangely detached as she describes what she says were the last moments of Lizzie's life. It was too much to handle. I was freaking out, she said in her statement, looking unemotional and almost upbeat as she describes the death of a friend who died only a week before. Lizzie's friend Nate McNeil said McDonough's story is preposterous. It was extreme, and it didn't make sense. I couldn't see Lizzie just outright doing something like that, especially with Kat and some guy she only went over to a house once. McNeil knows Lizzie had a girlfriend, Brittany, and they were in a long-term committed relationship. She always talked about all the fun things they would do, how much they really cared for each other. Lizzie's family also finds Kat McDonough's story outrageous, and they can't understand why she is still not in jail. Kat's responsible. Kat's involved in this. Why isn't she arrested? Says Bob, Lizzie's dad. Yeah, we got him behind bars, Tony Hanna said, but what about her? Lizzie's family would wait 2 months before Kat McDonough was finally arrested, but not for murder. Right, LJ? Not the first time they had played this game, which I believe is why 48 Hours called this one Dangerous Games. I believe that too is not the first time they had played this game. McDonough was charged with 3 counts of involving, hindering, an investigation and ordered to have no further contact with Seth Mazzaglia. She needs to rot in jail, said McNeil. But without Lizzie's body, it's a very tough case. Prosecutors need McDonough's testimony, and they offered her a deal. Of course, the deal. Every time I tell Mr. Fiber one of these stories and how they make him a deal, he's like, ugh. He hates it when they make deals. Instead of a possible 21-year sentence, she'd get a maximum of 3 years. And of course, it was an offer she could not refuse. In May of 2014, 2 years after Lizzie Marriott died under mysterious circumstances, Seth Mazzaglia goes on trial for her murder. This is a case of deliberate assault, deliberate, purposeful, cold-blooded murder. Prosecutor Peter Hinckley addressed the court. The defendant struck quick, and he struck without any mercy whatsoever. His victim, 19-year-old Elizabeth Marriott. When you have a kid, you spend a lot of time thinking, what can I do for them? And when that child is murdered, the number of things you can do really evaporates. And supporting her in trial was one of the last things I'll ever be able to do for her, said her dad. 48 Hours spoke with several of the jurors selected to hear the case. How can you prove a murder without a body? I didn't think it was possible, said juror Derek. After this assault and murder, the defendant conspired with Catherine McDonough to falsify evidence of his crimes. Lead prosecutor Peter Hinckley told the court, the prosecution case will hinge on the testimony of Cat McDonough. Testifying as part of her plea deal, she's about to tell yet another version of what happened. This is just the beginning, where I've been able to open up and actually explain what really happened, McDonough testified. McDonough now says that Lizzie Marriott was murdered right before her own eyes. Who killed Elizabeth? Seth. The prosecution says Mazzaglia controlled McDonough completely. The defense ordered that McDonough was to obey without question. Kat's earlier story that Lizzie's death was an accident was a lie, prosecutors say, to protect Seth. Did Lizzie die accidentally during some sort of SA activity gone bad that she had agreed to? Kat, no. Given her history of lying, was it a gamble to put her on the stand? Roberts asked Andrew Katropi, who represented Kat in her plea deal. Absolutely. Her testimony was critical. In my view, very much so. I think the government understood that there'd be a decent chance that Mr. Mazzaglia would not be convicted without her testimony. Hey, Suzanne. The first 2 days of Kat being on the stand were raw. The stories of their relationship, the SA activity that went on. Who introduced ropes? The one who brought the ropes in. Did he and you engage in domination, master, submissive? Yes. She descended into such a dark world, said co-worker Nate McNeil. Prosecutors read from a text message that Seth sent 6 weeks before Lizzie's death, where he promises to punish McDonough in explicit ways and commands her to find him another girl. It's time I punish you, you filthy little... And then reads from the second part of the text where Seth demands her to find him a new girl. You choose a friend. Any of yours will do. And you offer her to me that I may do as I wish. While you watch. The prosecutor asked Kat, did your efforts to locate another partner for the defendant intensify when you received that text message? Yes. And was that why you reached out to Lizzie and invited her over to the apartment? Yes. The case is not a romanticized, fictionalized novel that you may have read. This was the exercise of power and control. The prosecutor addressed the court. Lizzie was attractive. She was what he had been looking for. The defendant and McDonough schemed how they could exploit her. Texts from October of 2012, the night of Lizzie's life, last night of Lizzie's life, show that she arrives at their apartment at 8:51, and then we all started to talk about what we wanted to do. They decided on a movie, a game of strip poker. Prosecutors believe Lizzie had no idea she was being set up for a sexual encounter. We all sat down and began to play. The lights were dim. We were kind of just laughing. I ended up not wearing anything, and she ended up in her underwear, and that's when Seth made his move. Seth suggested that I should kiss Lizzie, and she said that she wasn't comfortable with that and that she was in a committed relationship. And then Seth said he asked her to have with me, and she wasn't okay with that. Hey, Lori. And that's when he did it. He was sitting on the futon behind us, and that's when he did it. He moved up behind her and he pulled the rope over her neck and strangled her. She let out a noise and she sort of stopped moving. And are these the gloves? Yes. The testimony is devastating for Lizzie's parents, so difficult. There were times when her mother couldn't even be in the courtroom. It's just too much. Then McDonough said that Seth did the unthinkable. She wasn't even moving, and he SA'd her. Do you think she was conscious? No. Did you tell him to stop? No. Did you go and yell for go get some help? No. Nothing she did, nothing to save Lizzie's life. After telling her account of Lizzie's death on the stand, McDonough breaks down in sobs and is escorted out of the courtroom. I definitely have sympathy for Kat, said a juror. I don't think she was in control of anything, herself, her mind, or anything that night. This one is Dangerous Games, 48 Hours, Dangerous Games. So get this now, for those who have not watched this, this just blew my mind. Okay, this was like last week when we talked about the nurse who supposedly helped her friend die. Okay, I don't get people and why people are so stupid. Why are they so stupid? People who are supposed to be smart, people who are supposed to have some sort of like responsibility, either in nursing. These people, I can't. It just infuriates me. Roberta Gherkin, a friend of Mazzaglia's, testifies that she got a strange call from McDonough at around 10:49. Something was going on. They wanted my assistance, and they wanted me to come over. Gherkin and her boyfriend, Paul Hickok, arrived at Mazzaglia and McDonough's apartment a little after 11. As I'm walking in, there's a body on the floor. There's a body on the floor next to the bed. Hickok testifies that Mazzaglia explained what was happening, and it was very vague. All he kept saying was, he's gone too far this time. He's kind of gone too far. He was sitting there on the bed. Kat was against the kitchen cabinets, almost in a fetal position, and the scene they described resonated with the jurors. Seth sitting right there, rocking and saying, I went too far, I went too far, while Kat's in a fetal position. Not wanting to get involved, Gherkin and Hickok left the apartment and never called 911. You have left the apartment. You are not with these people. You are not in this apartment where this happened, where you didn't even do anything to help, and you don't call for help. Seth came over and I was still curled up, and he told me, held his arm out, and he said, come on, we're in this together. And together, Seth and Kat descend further down a dark, disturbing path. They got rid of her. Lizzie Marriott was the girl with the ready smile, the sweet sense of humor. What would unfold that night with her life and after her death was beyond belief. Kat said it was late. It was like 1 a.m. Together with Seth, they located Lizzie's car. They took the car, and using back roads, they avoided the toll booths. Kat says after Lizzie was murdered, she helped Seth put the body into Lizzie's car. They drove some 13 miles from the apartment to the New Hampshire coast. She said she and Seth parked at the end of the pier island and brought Lizzie's body wrapped in a tarp and stuffed into a suitcase up a path and to an overlook above the river. They took Lizzie's body out of the suitcase. Who pushed Lizzie's body over the cliff? Seth did. McDonough says Lizzie's body tumbled down the cliff, but it was now low tide, and Lizzie landed on the rocks. Yes, that you have an obligation. It's like when you come up to the scene of a wreck. You have an obligation. You have to call for help. Exactly. How do they live with themselves now knowing they didn't call anybody? Those aren't people I want to have anything to do with. He said he couldn't climb because she was too exhausted, so I climbed down to her. He said cover her and with seaweed. So I covered her with seaweed and I managed to push her into the water. Lizzie's father said it's hard to envision that level of evilness and disregard for humanity. McDonough says they spent the remaining hours of the night throwing away evidence that has never been recovered. I'm not sure how far we are from. Not sure how far we are from the end. Do y'all want to keep going with this? Or have you heard enough? No, we don't need them on the yarn ship. That is exactly right. Oh, yeah. It's just not right. It's been 2 years since Lizzie's murder, and Lizzie's mother is still not able to visit the place that Lizzie loved so much, the ocean. I haven't been to the beach since she died. I can't. I just can't see it. It's overwhelming. With Lizzie's body lost at sea, there is no grave. Her parents have created a simple memorial for her, a bench in the sun next to the lake in the Massachusetts woods where Lizzie's spirit can be free. I think we're going to leave it at that, okay? Whew. That's that's a lot. That's just a lot. Okay, now we need to pick, I need to change the setting on my phone before I forget. Display, auto lock. To save energy. And now we need to pick another. Now, okay, I wanted to do something else before we do the next one. I wanted to cover the killing fields. And I did find something here on YouTube where they interview Tim Miller of EquiSearch. Would you like to go ahead and do that next week, and then we can pick one the week after of 48 hours? I think that's what we're going to do. I'll put this away. I want us to go over, there's been so much that has now come out, and I think there's going to be more. I want us to revisit that because there has been that arrest, James Elmore being arrested, and then now there's a renewed interest in the case. There's such a momentum going with that I really want us to talk about that. So let me find, if I can, I will find it here. So give me just a minute. Let me see if I'm going to do it actually from my computer, so I'll look like I'm not looking, because I'm really not. And then because I have it in a playlist for myself, it's not public. I have a playlist that I keep that's just for research for Stitch and Crime, and I don't make that public. I probably should make it public. If you all would like me, let me ask that question. Would you all like me to make that public? Anything that I have been looking at? Because it's the stuff I share with you. So I can do that. Let me edit that. All right. It is now public, and it is a Stitch and Crime. Oh, I didn't do it. Or did I? No, I did not. There we go. It is a Stitch and Crime research. When you look for it, that's where it will be. And here is the link for part 1. Okay, I did. So you all will see all the things that I have saved. I do remove stuff from there after it's been a while. I do remove stuff, but stuff that I still have in there is stuff that kind of that we're still talking about, okay? Or things that we're talking about now. So I have made that one public. I will show you that one in a minute. The one I'm going to put in here right now is part 1 with the interview with Tim Miller. So it'd be Texas Killing Fields. And it is that one. So there you go. This is the one that we can start watching these. I don't remember how many. I want to say there were like 3 or 4 parts to this. Okay. So if you want to watch this one, And we can start talking about it again next week and do part 1 next week. I'll leave this on the screen for a minute if you will go and find it. And I will try to remember, let me do it now. I will go and make a post, okay? For Friday night crime. Okay. I posted it in the community tab as well. Okay? All right. Got it? Cool. I know. He now I just want y'all, when you're listening to him, remember he's going to seem kind of harsh in a way, but you have to remember what he's been through and what he sees all the time. And I swear he runs on little sleep, little food, little anything, because he is about as dedicated as they come to other people, to other families. And I really admire him. I know he's going to be a little, you know, and he's not from Texas. He's been here a long time, and we're going to call him a Texan, but he didn't start out in Texas. Okay, now what was the other one I was going to tell you? Okay, my link for my research, let me get that for you. I don't want to put that in my community post because I don't want to mix it up. All right. Yeah, he runs on coffee like me, huh? Texas transplant, we're the best, aren't we? Okay. Here is the playlist for my research. And some of it we haven't covered yet. It's things that you and I have talked about. Oh, it was too long, wasn't it? That didn't work. Let me put it in again because that did not work. There we go. Yes, that's what I've been trying to do, Suzanne, is have everything here on YouTube for you so we don't have to leave. Cellulitis. Girl, they got you on some antibiotics for that? That's very dangerous. The cellulitis is very dangerous. What are they doing to make sure it doesn't spread? Goodness gracious, I'm so sorry. Okay, now I was going to tell you a little update. Now, this is me self-diagnosing, okay? I'm going to have to make an appointment with my primary and see if she wants to do any of, or if there even is any kind of testing they can do. But I would just want to go over it with her so she can put it into my records. But I feel that I have enough symptoms that I probably have Ehlers-Danlos. Yes, they have touched down. Another ship has landed. It's not really a ship. I don't know if y'all know what that is. Let me write it down. Clindamycin, really strong. It is. I cannot take it. The last time I took clindamycin, I got terribly, terribly sick. It was way, way too strong for me. So you be careful. I really hope it helps though, because they have to get that under control. That is some serious shit. I'm so glad, Suzanne. Still call it a ship? Okay. We love you, Tank. Okay. Ehlers Danlos. I am double jointed. Did you see? Let me now remove. I'm done with this because we're fixing to go. I am double jointed on both sides. I could touch my thumb, both sides. All of my fingers, all of them. I can't do them because of my nails, but they all bend, every one of them. When I was younger, I could touch my chin basically to my heels. Huh. I didn't know it was like that. I'll have to look that up. I've heard of that. But I have a lot of things that run along with it, and I feel like some of my family members do also. We've been discussing that. So anyway, I've never had a dislocation that I know of, but when you said something about that, it reminded me that I can't remember what it's called, but on the back of your heel are those little, they're like little knobs, they're under the skin, and they're like these little bumps that are all over both of my heels. That goes along with it. What else? It's a whole bunch of things. Just to take care of yourself. There is some medication out there. Yeah, I have heard of that. So you have to how I wear the braces on things? Like I wear a back brace and I wear the braces on my when I walk for the Achilles. Uh, they're not spurs. They're not spurs. I have heel spurs, but that's not what they are. They're like a little. There they are. That's the proper name for them. The granulomas. I have it on both heels. I've had abdominal hernia. I have the mesh on one side, and then I have a weak spot on the other that has not been repaired. Um, oh, the vertigo, the migraines, the flushing. Do you see how I'm flushing even now? The flushing is part of it. There's just a whole bunch of things that really adds up to it. So I'll talk to her about it and see. But I really think that it's an autoimmune. And I've had an unspecified autoimmune for a while, along with the fibromyalgia. So makes sense to me, everything that I've been reading about it. Yeah, shoulders. Did you have dislocations? I have been very fortunate not. Yes, I got it after that tank. Mine was not the same as the recalled one. I wasn't going to have it done. I wasn't going to let them do it. Yeah, I know. So anyway, that's about all I have tonight. Oh, should I open this? Do you guys want me to open this before we go? This is the Bag O Day Mystery Monthly. The monthly mystery. And I don't remember whether I want to say I got 3 months worth. And I think this is the first month. And look, I got another sloth bag. Okay, I'll open it down this way because I got my address on there. So let me see if I can do this without, oh, it's going to pop open. That's good. Okay, so if you purchased the Bag O Day monthly, now I know Ellen put a video up and I did not watch it because I did not want to see what it was. I wanted it to be a mystery when I opened it. You guys are going to see it first. You ready? Oh, oh, oh. Well, we got a pretty sticker, first of all. She does know me. She said she ordered them especially for me. That's my second one. Oh, I found it. Oh, it's pretty. Oh, that's very, very nice. Great speckles. Beautiful mix of colors. I need to bring the camera back in, don't I? Hold on. Look at that. It's called Gravity Falls. Isn't that isn't that a cartoon? Like an adult cartoon? 100% superwash merino, 19 microns. We've been talking about some of this on my What the Fiber. So stay tuned. 219 yards and 100 grams. Look at the beautiful speckles. Oh, that's nice. Like a rustic barnwood, yes. It's very soft. This is the same base that I'm using for my pooling shawl, planned pooling. I love, love, love this like slatey blue and gray in there. And then you got like the rocks. So if we're talking about a place, Gravity Falls, a place, that would be perfect for it. Because that would be the water, right? That would be the water. And then you have the rocks and the sand below it. Very nice. I see the vision if that's what it is. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Gosh, she's getting so good. She is getting so very, very good. And of course she is. She's very driven. I love it. It smells so good. Very nice. It is very, oh, you can kind of see it right here, but it's better here. So this one you will not find in her shop, okay? This is part of the monthly club only. And I do not know how many of these went out. I know Ellen got one because I saw her put it up earlier today. Okay, you guys, that is it for me tonight. I've got to go get some rest. Tomorrow is Walmart with Dad. There's so much going on right now, you wouldn't believe it. Just got a lot of coordinating going on for Dad, doing some work at his place. We've got some work happening here at our place, and so we're coordinating with that. I did walk today, so I'm more tired. Serbs has already gone to bed over there. No bone. You haven't been on the bone lately. Not during the live. I don't know what's up with that. Thank you all so much for being here. Those of you who've been watching and lurking, I appreciate you. I see you too, and I thank you so much for being here. Also, if you're watching on replay, I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think. Y'all go ahead and start watching the Killing Field series, and we will talk about that next week, okay? I love y'all. Have fun today, and I'll see you later, okay? Y'all are wonderful, and I appreciate you all very much. Here is a thank you for my Ko-fi members before we go, and then I will say goodnight. Bye, everybody.